Hi, I'm Korey Hicks, and this is Effective Practice for the Guitar, episode number 2, The Importance of the Major Scale. In episode number 1, we talked about note recognition, being able to find any note on the fretboard as quickly as possible. So if you haven't gone through that episode, please do. It's one of the most fundamental skills you can have. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of the major scale. And if you haven't learned all of your major scales all over the fretboard yet, what are you waiting for? It's time to do this. Everything you're going to learn from here on out is based on the major scale. The major scale is going to be the scaffolding that everything else is based off of. So if you want to get into minor scales or modes, or if you want to get into melodic minor, harmonic minor, any of those things, the major scale is the parent scale that all these other things come from. See, when I was a kid learning guitar, I didn't want to learn the major scale. I just wanted to learn the minor scales because at that time I was mostly into rock music. Don't make that mistake. Don't make the mistake of thinking that I'm a blues guitar player, so I only need minor scales. Actually, most blues is going to be based on the Mixolydian scale, which is from the major scale family anyway. So let's talk about what this is actually going to entail. So you're going to have 12 chromatic pitches, okay? So our chromatic scale. We went through this last episode. So we have C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, and G. Yes, in harmonics in there, F sharp and G flat are the same, but for our purposes, we have 12 chromatic pitches. Each one of these chromatic pitches is going to have the major scale formula applied to it. That major scale formula is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if I start on the note C, for example, C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, E to F is a half step, F to G is a whole, G to A is a whole, A to B is a whole, and then we have a half step back to C. So any one of our major scales can have this applied to it, okay? So starting on the note B, B to C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. So no matter where you start, you apply the formula and you're going to get the major scale. Now, as you can already tell, playing them straight up and down like that is not the most economical way to do this. We need to be able to play these things horizontally as well as vertically. And actually some of our favorite players, when they do play things in major scales, major modes, minor scales, what they're doing is they're doing a combination of patterns and switching using what I call devices. So maybe you'll be playing in G Mixolydian, but I'm going to use a sixth to get to my next position. And then I may use a triad, and then come back into a pentatonic pattern. So you're always going to be mixing things, okay? So how do we do this? Well, every note in the major scale is going to have its own pattern. So if I start on C, that's going to get pattern 1, or D pattern 2, E pattern 3, F pattern 4, G pattern 5, A pattern 6, B pattern 7, and then we're back home. So what you're going to do is take your low E string, and you're going to be applying the major scale formula with a bunch of patterns, okay? And so you may have seen these differently. I have them written out here, and I will actually supply a PDF of this so that you guys can see it more closely. But this is for the key of C major. So remember, C major, no sharps, no flats, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That means if I want to play a C major scale on a different part of the neck, it has to be a different fingering. You can't use the same fingering. If I play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then I want to use that same fingering to play C major here, I get E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. No, it doesn't work, right? So we need to have different fingerings to get the same result in other areas. So let me show you this. How is that possible? Well, it's just the whole way the neck works, okay? So I had to use 1, 2, and then I had 3, 4. I used 5 different patterns of C major to play the exact same thing. This may answer a bunch of questions for you guys who use YouTube to learn songs. Let's just take a simple lick. And then you see somebody play it on YouTube. But you look up the tablature and it goes, but then you see a live video of the band playing it and they're going, it's confusing, right? Well, the point is they're all right. They're the same notes. I played a C to a D to an A. in all those different spots. And so this will free you up later on to have your own creative approach to soloing or to playing melodies, because you get to play them where you think it's most comfortable. Okay, same thing is true for chords. Here's a standard D chord. I can play that exact same thing here, or I can play it here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to start memorizing these patterns. So let me show you how this works for the key of C. Okay, and your job this week is going to be, in addition to note recognition, you're going to memorize the entire neck in the key of C major using these 7 patterns. What I usually tell students is you got 7 days before our next lesson, just take one a day and memorize them, okay? So you will notice a lot of geometric shapes inside of these things, which are pretty cool. By geometric shapes, I'll say, like, here's a square inside of the first pattern. It repeats up here, or here. So you'll start noticing those things, or like this little line in pattern 7. It's really cool, especially if you think that way. It's a really easy way to memorize these things. All right, let's begin. So pattern 1 is going to start on the note C on the low E string. C is the first note of C major, so here we start. And it's going to be all C major, so no sharps, no flats. So that's the thing I want you guys to keep coming back to. Are there sharps, are there flats? If there are, it's not C major, right? So let's check this out. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. That's pattern 1. Notice I'm playing it first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky. This is economy of motion. If you want to be able to play fast someday, or if you want to be able to play with a really relaxed nature, you can't be using different fingers all the time when you're practicing these things. I'll show you a common way people play it. First, third, pinky, first, third, pinky, first, second, pinky, first, second, pinky, first, second, or third, pinky, whatever, right? Don't do that, okay? Basically, what you're doing is this. 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, but all with the same fingers, see? Again, first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky. See what I mean? So I want you guys to look for that in the scales, okay? Economy of motion. You can slow this video down to really pay attention to the fingerings that I use. And yes, in real music, you're going to be adjusting your fingerings to play things that might not be, right? So I'm using a different fingering. Why? Because I moved from that pattern through 2 other patterns. If you're moving through patterns, if you're going from one pattern to another pattern, obviously you would have to play a different fingering, right? Because how else would you get out of your pattern? Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, pattern 2 starts on the second note of a C major scale, C, D. Again, can't have any sharps or flats, so it looks like this. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? Notice when I had that stretch, I also did that first middle pinky thing again. Also notice that this pattern shares a lot in common with the first pattern. Everything at the 10th fret was played for the first pattern and the 12th, and the same was true here for pattern 2. So you're basically going to be blending these patterns. It's really cool when you see it written out. All right, so the third note of a C major scale, C, D, E. So we're going to start on E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No sharps, no flats, therefore it is C major. I can also play this open. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Same thing, only I have open strings instead of the first finger. Okay, so now we're on pattern 4, C, D, E, F. Starting on the note F, in order to get the notes of C major, I have to play this fingering. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Cool. Next I have G, so C, D, E, F, G, the 5th note of a C major scale, so it looks like this. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay? Moving to pattern 6, C, D, F, G, A, I start on the A, and we play this pattern. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Then we're going to move to the 7th note, C, D, F, G, A, B, and we're going to start on the B note, which is the 7th fret, and I play this pattern. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And then what we have is our entire guitar neck in the key of C. And it repeats after that. See? So now you should be able to play things that go across the neck. Okay, so once you get this, then we can move it to the other 12 keys, or the other 11 keys, I'm sorry. Practicing this every single day. If you find that one pattern is a little too much to memorize, start off by just doing 2 strings at a time. And then you can add a third, okay? We are going to talk about this more in depth after you memorize it. How to practice it, how to do maintenance skills for this, how to move it to the other 12 keys. But for this very first introduction of the major scale, don't worry about that. Don't worry about how it is going to be used for modes, for example. Don't worry about it as it relates to natural minor, any of those things yet. Just remember, this first thing right here in episode number 2 is, it's like the white notes on the keyboard, okay? I often tell students this, I'm like, look, somebody who's been taking piano lessons for only a couple of weeks, they can take their finger and go all the way up the keyboard and get all the notes of C major. In order for you to have a chance at understanding this instrument and being able to play everything that you hear in your head, you have to at least be able to start there. So, and for those of you who've been playing for 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years and you can't play a C major scale throughout the entire neck, it's probably been bothering you for a while. It's time to just fix that deficiency, fill that gap, okay? I often find it very interesting when people will be playing for 15 or 20 years and they'll always be like, you know, I've plateaued, I've never gotten better. I'm just as good as I was in high school, just never really got any better. It's really difficult for me to learn songs. And I'll talk to them and I'll say, well, can you play a C major scale over the entire neck in every position? No. I'm like, well, can we start there? Let's start there. Because that's like saying I don't know how to write, but I also don't know the alphabet, okay? So hopefully this hits home for a lot of you guys. And if there are those of you who already know how to do this, try coming up with limiting exercises. So what does that mean? That means limit yourself to, say, I can only use the top 2 strings. So I would go that type of thing. Or I can only use the B string and the D string. Right? So try doing stuff like that. Also, last thing I'll leave you guys with, because I know this video is probably going a little long for just one episode, everything else that you're going to learn is going to be inside of these patterns, okay? Because a C major chord is C, E, and G. Every C major chord on the neck, right? Every C major chord is inside these patterns, and you can actually see them in there. Every D minor chord, D, F, and A, is inside of all these patterns. In fact, every pattern has at least seven arpeggios inside of it. Every pattern has 7 chords inside of it from the key. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished. Every pattern has all 7 7th chords. C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant 7th, A minor 7, and B minor 7 flat 5. So don't take this lightly. This is, like I said, the scaffolding that holds everything together. If you can play these patterns, you can start doing them to, come up with melodic minor scales, which is the same thing with an E flat note instead of an E. And then you get Lydian dominant, the altered scale. So take this real seriously. This week, you're focusing on C major. And what we're going to be doing in the next couple episodes is we're going to be kind of diving in more deeply into this on practicing ideas, some tips on how to ask yourself questions and kind of do self checks and that type of thing. So All right, everyone. Have a good week and good luck practicing. Remember, note recognition and then learning your scales and patterns. So far, you guys probably only have 20 minutes of stuff that I've given you. 5 minutes a day note recognition and maybe 15 minutes a day on these scales. So the time that this will all take will ramp up pretty quickly. So enjoy your short time of practicing for right now. And then spend the rest of your time being creative on the instrument and also playing songs. All right, have a blessed day. I'm Korey Hicks, and I will see you next time.